Okay, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all the higher praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Mekrak. Double honors to the elders and single honors to the apostles, preaching and teaching us this word of truth and with sincerity as always. Double honors to the elders, single honors to the apostles, preaching and teaching us this word of truth and with sincerity as always. And without any further ado, I just want to get into this lesson going into the body once again, the human body, and then comparing it to the scripture. Paul references a metaphor once again about the body, the human body, and how there's many parts. And so comparing it unto the spiritual body of a Mashiach Yahushua, how we fit in this body. So I'll start with the scripture here. This is where we went into last time. I did a part one to this. The first part one of the parts we went into was the thyroid. It's a butterfly-shaped gland in the front of the neck. It's in the front of your neck, controlling the body's pace. Doesn't create energy, but decides how fast energy is used through hormones released in the bloodstream. How quickly cells convert fuel, how warm the body stays. Then how fast systems respond. When the thyroid activity increases, the body accelerates, thoughts move faster, energy feels readily available. When it slows down, everything follows. So that's the thyroid, how it controls movement, how the pace of everything, how it goes. It says basically, in a nutshell, it sets the tempo, not movement. It doesn't move really per se, but it sets the tempo to how everything moves. It shows balance. It isn't still, but controlled. But controlled motion, basically, kind of. So it decides how everything moves. Then we went into the liver. Basically, the liver is does 100 things, 500 different tasks at once. Makes nutrients out of what you eat, stores energy for when you're tired, builds hormones, balances your blood, and turns chaos into survival every moment of the day. And it's the only organ basically that if you cut it in half, it can grow back. So the liver here keeps you alive, but it also protects you from your choices, your habits, your environment, and the world you put inside your body. Maybe the real question isn't what your liver does, but how much it endures just to keep you alive. Okay. When you overload it, it still fights for you long after other organs would give up. So yeah, the liver is a very strong part of the body as well, like the heart. But the heart would be more fragile than the liver, just I'm guessing. Don't quote me on that, but I'm just guessing there. Here's the scripture, 1 Corinthians 12:12-14. For just as the body is one. Yeah, I'll start here. First Corinthians 12, verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. This is what we're about to see here in these videos. Somebody plays us some of them.
The lymphatic system, a quiet network working without a pump, yet essential to balance and defense. It runs alongside blood vessels, threading through tissue and organs, collecting what circulation leaves behind, excess fluid. proteins, cellular waste. This fluid becomes lymph. Unlike blood, lymph moves only when you move. Muscle contraction pushes it forward. Breathing assists flow. Stillness slows the system. Motion restores it. Along the way, lymph passes through lymph nodes, small checkpoints packed with immune cells. Here, threats are identified, filtered, and neutralized before they can spread. The lymphatic system also transports fats absorbed from digestion, delivering them into circulation through a separate route designed for efficiency. When flow is impaired, fluid accumulates, swelling appears, immune response weakens, recovery slows. When flow is steady, balance is maintained quietly, without awareness. This system does not announce itself. It cleans, it filters, it protects. A silent defender, keeping internal spaces clear and tissues healthy. The lymphatic system is a reminder that movement is not optional. It is how the body maintains order, defense, and balance from the inside out.
So this is that was going into the woman there describing the lymphatic system. So I googled here, is the lymphatic system connected all over the body, and basically, and it says yes, the lymphatic system is distributed throughout nearly the entire body, acting as a comprehensive network of vessels, and that's really the point there. It drains fluid, waste, and toxins from tissues. It's like the woman mentioned back there,
Lymphatic system, a quiet network working without a pump, yet essential to balance.
working without a pump. It reminds me of what we went into in the first part of this as well. The bone marrow is also very quiet. You don't really feel it, but inside your body, if you were to look in it, tap into it, you would feel it, you would see it.
And defense. It runs alongside blood vessels, the lymphatic system, a quiet network working without a pump, yet essential to balance and defense.
And it's essential for balance and defense. What I notice about a lot of these parts of the bodies, really each one of them is for defense. Like each brother is set up as a defense for the gospel, for the body of Mashiach Yahushua. Just like we have to take care of our bodies, even if you don't take care of it, you have to, because the body's taking care of you as well. It's taking care of you, so you gotta take care of your body. Some people don't take care of their bodies, eat whatever, and then that destroys their body. But here, us as the body, we're the parts in the body that's taking care of it, fighting for the individual Yahushua. And so that's the scriptures, the doctrines we preach. The Lord has man set up here that's part of this body that's gonna constantly be on point, fighting for the body, keeping it healthy. And obviously Yahushua takes care of his body, so we're taking care of his body, he's taking care of the body in return. We're both looking out for each other, doing something for each other, doing some type of work for the other. And each body part is fighting for the next body part. Without this part, specific parts, this woman speaking on the lymphatic system, you really wouldn't. Yeah, I don't think, and the heart wouldn't work, the feet wouldn't work, the brain wouldn't want to work. So I googled this. What would happen if your lymphatic system stopped working? It says if the lymphatic system fails, fluid, in parentheses lymph, and waste build up in tissues, causing swelling called lymphedema, most often in arms or legs, leading to heaviness, discomfort, and skin changes like thickening or dryness. This fluid buildup also impairs immune function, increasing the risk of serious bacterial infections, in parentheses cellulitis, and potentially sepsis, along with chronic inflammation and tissue hardening. And that would mean you would die right there. Bacterial infections, you would die from that would end up getting serious. You would die from that. So even this insignificant part nobody really knows about, like, because it's not the heart, it's not the feet, it's not the fingertips, the smallest part, the smallest cell, literally the fingertips has the smallest cells in your body. It's the smallest cell in your body that, well, probably not. You got the ear lobe. I'm not super. I'm not a doctor on this specific subject, so I wouldn't really want to say that. I can't quote myself on that, but it's definitely one of the smallest cells in your body that in charge of as far as touch and movement and stuff. It's the fingertips. Went into that last time, but still, these parts here, these smaller insignificant parts, going back to the point, would be in charge of these big things if they were to stop working. The whole body would shut down. It would have to work harder, and then ultimately, it really wouldn't just work in the long run. You would die. Catch diseases, bacterial infections, shut down, essentially. Also, it says obesity would happen if the lymphatic system shut down, infections or trauma damaging vessels, cancer treatments, swelling usually in the limbs, feeling heaviness, tightness, or tingling kind. Let's go back. Now let's get to the scriptures. We were on 1 Corinthians 12. I think we were left off on 1 again. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. I'm going to jump down to verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. 5. And there are differences of administrations. We went into different body parts, but the same Lord. Last week we went into once again we went into the thyroid, which is the butter-shaped gland, a small part of the body, but also controls movement, all types of movements all over the body. Essentially, how quickly cells convert to fuel, how warm the body stays, and how fast systems respond. When it increases activity, everything moves faster, thoughts move faster, energy feels more readily available. When it slows, everything drops as well. Metabolism drops, fatigue increases. And then we went into the liver, basically. Does like 500 things at once. The liver never really gets a break. Every drop of blood you have passes through it over and over again. And that's really the bone marrow as well. We went into that in the first part of this. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 5. So Paul says again, and there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord. 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh all in all. 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. Yes, so some brothers have a higher measure of the Spirit to make longer videos, to do a longer fast, to do more fasts, to be heavy into fasting. The other brothers have certain other spirits with other lesser weaknesses. This brother's weakness might be this brother's strength. Another brother's many weaknesses, may be another brother's many strengths. Like faith, there's also the gift of faith, gift of dreams, gifts of healing, gives of knowledge, much knowledge of the road you can use to benefit the body and truth. Many kinds of gifts. So, but the manifestation of the Spirit, that's what Paul is saying there. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. So, if whatever gift the brother may have, he gives it back to the body to profit withal. Just as we read here about these literal parts of our physical body here, like the bone marrow here. I'll ask Google this here about the bone marrow, which also imparts its gift to the rest of the body to continue moving, to continue to be healthy in a healthy state. So I asked this long question: what does the bone marrow give for the rest of your body to help it to live? And the AI overview here says bone marrow acts as the body's primary factor, producing over 500 billion blood cells daily, and that's a lot. So just like the liver does 500 things at once, so the bone marrow also does 500 billion blood cells daily. And I imagine the heart too as well, because it's constantly pumping. So every part of the body is always doing something. It's always moving. It's always functioning. It's never stops. Never given the break. Including red blood cells, oxygen transport, white blood cells, immune defense. So that's what this bone marrow produces: white blood cells and platelets, clotting. It stores fat for energy, and yellow marrow generates stem cells for tissue repair and provides essential collagen and nutrients for joint health. So without the bone marrow, you won't have white blood cells, which it says right here defend the body against infections, viruses, and diseases. Red blood cells here, they deliver oxygen from the lungs to tissues and organs, preventing fatigue and supporting metabolism. So without the bone marrow too, you'll be fatigued. Your metabolism would stop working. You won't have extra energy in case you go on a fast and you need that yellow bone marrow, which stores fat to convert to energy for you. And then without the thyroid, it wouldn't be able to move fast in your quick pace. And obviously you need the brain and all these parts of the body to work for one another here. Continuing on, 1 Corinthians 12, this is verse 8. For to one is given the Spirit, the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit. Here's a precept, Ephesians 4:4. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called. 5. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. 6. One God, one Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. 7. But to each one of us grace has been given us as a Mashiach apportioned it. 8. This is why it says, when he ascended on high, he took many captives and gave gifts to his people. 9. What does he ascended mean except that he also descended to the lower earthly regions. 10. He who descended is the very one who ascended higher than all the heaven in order to fill the whole universe. 11. So Mashiach himself gave the apostles and prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and teachers. 12. To equip his people for works of service, so that the body of a Mashiach may be built up. So to everyone he gave these gifts. Because imagine if it was just one brother, or 2 or 3, if 10 brothers doing these works to give these gifts. The body would stop working. The body wouldn't be functioning as properly. It wouldn't be pumping enough blood. It wouldn't be in a health state. Because going back to the bone marrow, ask what if the bone marrow stopped working inside your body? If your bone marrow stops working, bone marrow failure, your body cannot produce enough red blood cells, white blood cells, or platelets, leading to life-threatening anemia, severe infections, and uncontrollable bleeding. The condition, often termed aplastic anemia, results in extreme fatigue. So that's a real disease that can happen to certain individuals in their body. Weakness that results where they feel where if that happens, they feel extreme fatigue, weakness, dizziness, frequent infections, fever, and easy bruising or bleeding. You would essentially die. The body would have to work harder, and essentially it would be impossible though to keep the body moving, even if it had to work harder. And the bone marrow stopped working. It just wouldn't be possible. Which is certain disease could happen through taking them drugs that Esau has created. And those drugs can represent those false doctrines, fake doctrines, fake ass doctrines. It says various medications, including some antibiotics. Obviously, those would be artificial ones. Can cause bone marrow suppression. That's a whole nother topic, though. I'm not an expert on it, but so that was the lymphatic system there. We can get into this one here.
Gallstones. Solid formations that develop quietly inside the gallbladder. They form when bile, a digestive fluid meant to stay liquid, becomes too concentrated. Cholesterol hardens. Pigments crystallize. Small particles grow layer by layer. At first, nothing feels wrong. Digestion continues. Signals stay silent. But stones change flow. When the gallbladder contracts, a stone can block the exit. Pressure rises. Muscle spasms intensify. Pain appears suddenly, often sharp, often severe. This pain is not random. It is mechanical. A system designed for smooth release meets resistance. Risk increases with imbalance, irregular meals, rapid weight changes, excess fat or cholesterol, reduced movement. The gallbladder adapts until it can't. Some stones remain unnoticed for years. Others demand immediate attention. The difference is timing, size, and position. Gallstones are not infection. They are consequence. A result of chemistry falling out of balance inside a system built for precision. A reminder.
This represents a disease. Bad fruits, evil fruits that can creep in and then ruin the other fruits. If you have one rotten fruit, lemon, if you put it next to two other clean lemons, ripe, fresh lemons, the infection will spread. It'll spread first to the ones closest to it, and then the one behind next to that one. So that's what that represents in false doctrines. Paul speaks on that. Paul speaks on this. Let me get that. Ephesians 4, verse 14. Then we will no longer be infants tossed back and forth by the waves and blown here and there by every wind of teaching and by the cunning and craftiness of people and their deceitful scheming. Those deceitful schemes are the false doctrines. 15. Instead, speaking the truth in love. Speaking the truth in love, keeping the doctrine pure. Make sure our spirit's right. You sure we're fasting and praying, or spiritually fasting, praying, doing what we gotta do for the Lord Yahweh in spirit. Speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become, in every respect, the mature body of Him who is the head, that is the Mashiach. Con. Destroying those false doctrines you can have out here, produced by false prophets out here. Going back to this gallbladder. This is how a gallbladder can get infected if you don't take care of your body. And so we're that body that's cleaning and purifying everything. It ain't no disease in this body of Yahweh that He has here. Yahweh also said, if thy right arm offend thee, cut it off. So we going metaphorically into evil men that weren't right, we cut off of the body, because they'll end up spreading these diseases like this one here.
A reminder that digestion depends not only on what is produced. A result of chemistry falling out of balance inside a system built for precision. A reminder that digestion depends not only on what is produced, but on how smoothly it is allowed to flow. And that silent build-up often reveals itself only when movement is blocked.
When movement is blocked. Just going into the body as well. This video explains well how too much water can destroy your body as well.
Every single day. And within hours, his body, he drank an entire gallon of water every single day. And within hours, his body started doing things he never expected. What began as a simple hydration challenge turned into a shocking experiment on human biology. Some effects were downright scary. At first, his skin glowed, energy surged, and headaches vanished. But inside, his kidneys were working overtime, and his electrolyte levels began to wobble dangerously. Toxins were flushed at lightning speed, but too much water started swelling cells, causing nausea and dizziness. His heart and brain even felt the strain. A reminder that balance is everything when pushing your limits. 1 gallon a day isn't magic. It's the power of proper hydration. But too much can hurt. And your body will force you to respect the fine line between benefit and danger. Ears. Two small structures on the side of the ears. Two small structures on the side of the head, yet responsible for one of the most sophisticated sensing systems in the human body. Every sound you hear begins as a vibration in the air, a shifting of pressure, too subtle for the eye to see, but instantly detected by the delicate mechanics of the ear. Inside the outer ear, each wave is guided inward toward the eardrum, a thin membrane that vibrates with astonishing precision. These vibrations then travel through 3 tiny bones, the smallest in the human body, which amplify the signal before sending it into the cochlea. Here, the process becomes extraordinary. Inside the cochlea's spiraled chamber are thousands of microscopic hair cells, each tuned to a specific frequency. Together, they convert vibration into electrical signals the brain can understand. But hearing is only half the story. Deep within the inner ear lies the vestibular system, a network of fluid-filled canals lined with sensors that track motion, balance, and the position of the head in space. Every step you take, every turn, every moment of stillness is monitored by this silent system, ensuring the world remains steady even when your body is not. The ears respond to emotion as well. A sharp sound quickens the heart. A soft voice calms the mind. Language, music, warning, comfort, all carried through vibrations interpreted with remarkable speed. Quiet, complex, and endlessly sensitive, the ears do far more than detect sound. They anchor balance, guide movement, shape memory, and connect us to the world in ways we rarely notice.
So that's the ear for you. Connects you in ways, way more ways than we notice. The other one was going into, we went into the thyroid system, the gallbladder, and what happens if you drink too much water. A person can drink too much water, a gallon a day, each a day can be too much. They can destroy your electrolytes and stuff like that. And then we went into that one, the ear. So Lord willing, this was edifying. That's pretty much the point of the lesson. Last week we also went into, once again, the bone. We discussed the bone marrow. What would happen if that was to shut off on us. So it's just like this body. This is Ephesians 4:15. Instead, speaking the truth in love, we will grow to become in every respect the mature body of him who is the head, that is a Mashiach. So that's love, taking care of the body. Each one of us is a part of this body that takes care in love of the other. And then ultimately, which is the head part of our body, Yahushua. This is 1 Corinthians 12:9. To another, faith by the same Spirit. To another, the gifts of healing by the same Spirit. To another, the working of miracles. To another, prophecy. To another, the discerning of spirits. To another, diverse kinds of tongues. To another, the interpretation of tongues. Some brothers are good on the Hebrew, but all these worketh that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. For as the body is one So Yahushua has the body, each man his own gift in this work, spiritual work here, spiritual body here. It's like a literal, just like our literal physical body. Each one has a different job, a different task. It's designed to be skilled and experts in. Some brothers are heavy on prophecy. They always like speaking on prophecy. For some reason, this brother will always speak on prophecy. To another brother's teaching many things. Can teach the Hebrew one week, the next week about the chariots, another week about the spiritual powers. Many gifts, many visions, dreams. 12. For as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is the Mashiach. 13. For by one Spirit we are all baptized. One body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into that one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? God, exactly. That's really the point of where it's all one in the same body. We gotta believe that, keep that in mind. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. That was the point of the lesson, really. Shalom and a bar.